Hi everyone. For today's video, I just wanted to give you an update on what I'm currently reading this week. I am tackling The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Now, I've read a few of V.E. Schwab's books before. I definitely have read Darker Shade of Magic series, and I thought that series was great, even though I did enjoy the first book of the series more so than the other two, but overall, it was a really strong fantasy series and definitely one I think would be really cool to adapt to a live action. And I also have, I think the book is Vicious, which is like kind of like a retelling of Professor Xavier and Magneto, or has strong resemblance to those characters. I think it's the book is Vicious. I have that one. I have not finished that yet, but I've heard so many rave reviews about this particular book. And I remember watching a TikTok where a book talker was so impassionately talking about how much this book affected her and how incredibly emotionally stirring it was that I said, you know what, I have to give this a shot. So I'm currently at page 122. So I'm about 28% into the book, and I have to say I absolutely adore it. So just mild spoilers, but nothing too crazy. Essentially, the story is about Addie, and she is forced to marry, and she ultimately wants to live her life free. She has no interest in being married, but her family, particularly her mother, wants to marry her off. And I think the story takes place in the 1700s initially, but as you can see on the chapter that I'm looking on right now, it kind of jumps back and forth in time. So in this time period is about 2014. Anyways, so Addie absolutely refuses to be married off, doesn't envision that for her life, and she wants more. She wants to explore the world. She wants to visit Paris. She just wants to live her life free and unburdened. And unfortunately, she feels like she's trapped in a corner due to this upcoming marriage. So what she does is she strikes a deal with what we're supposed to assume is the devil, but it could just be a very mischievous and sinister demon, which I guess can also be described as Satan. She strikes a deal with this Satan that in order to have her freedom of life, she'll give him anything that he wants. And he essentially exchanges her soul for essentially immortality, unbeknownst to her. It's definitely a cautionary tale of be careful of what you wish for. And it just details how miserable her life is that she's asked for this wish, because she does essentially get her freedom, but it comes with a very high cost. That not only does she has this miserable immortality, but everyone that she meets instantly forgets her as soon as they turn their back to her or they close a door and she's out of sight. They instantly forget her, and she is incapable of leaving her mark on the world at all. So she's unable to utter her real name. She's unable to write out what exactly has happened to her for someone to help her. And she is unable to die, even if she is violently attacked, even if she's starving, even if she's freezing to the brink of death. Despite all that, she can still feel all the sensations of that, but she ultimately cannot die, which you can imagine is a pretty damning experience. And I just have to say that it's such an incredible read so far. I'm not even at the major point, because this is also a romance, but it hasn't unfolded as of yet, even though she has met her quote unquote love interest at this point in time where I'm in the book. But it's just such an engrossing story. So this is what I'm going to be captured in. So I won't be doing art today. I'm going to continue to read this. But I'm calling this really early, but I have a feeling that I'm going to finish this book really soon. And it's going to be one of my clear favorites of 2021. And it's been a while since I've been so engrossed in a book, because 2020 was a horrible reading year for me. It was a horrible year in general. But it's a horrible reading year for me in particular. And this story has just completely encaptured me. So this is where I'm at, and I am really enjoying it. So all the rave reviews are at least working out in my favor. I can see, because I have seen some negative feedback here and there, and I can see where it's coming from, because it's definitely a slow burn of a story. It's still setting up a lot of backstory and getting into the head of Addie, but I feel like it's all necessary. Anyways, that is my 2 cents. This is what I'm currently reading this week. Thank you for joining me for this video. Peace.